Hello, in this video we will tell you in detail how to carry out powerful decoking with the new motor decoking ML204 of a Hyundai Elantra car with almost 189,000 kilometers of mileage. Then together with you we will evaluate the results of the procedure and carry out a small test on the dismantle piston. It's going to be interesting. The engine is already warmed up to operating temperatures, so we turn off the ignition system and dismantle the spark plugs. The soot on the spark plugs and their threads show that there are problems in the cylinder piston group with excessive fuel content and oil ingress. We measure the compression in the cylinders. In the first cylinder we have only 10.6 bar, in the second 13.1, in the third 12, and in the fourth 13.2 bar. This is a serious spread, which indicates a different degree of cocking of the rings. Now let's assess the situation with an endoscope. We see that the carbon deposits on the piston crowns are not the same, but nevertheless they're everywhere. Decoking can help this engine. We drain the oil into a clean container. We will need it later. Remove the oil pan, having excess provided previously. By the way, dirty and rusted bolts and nuts of the exhaust system can be easily unscrewed if you first apply a liquid wrench. It penetrates the joints and weakens them. The condition of oil pan is poor. Upon detailed examination, we found a crack in it, so after the procedure we will install a new one. Next, we set the pistons to a position close to the middle. To do this, turn the crankshaft by the pulley bolt. Now comes the fun part. The packaging of the ML204 decoking contains everything that is necessary. The composition itself, a syringe with an extension tube, an engine compartment sticker and detailed instructions for use. Motor decoking ML204 is a serious autochemical, so we strongly recommend to follow instructions. 190 milliliters of ML204 treats a motor of up to 2 liters volume. Today we have exactly 2 liters. Therefore, we fill 47.5 milliliters with a syringe into each cylinder and we slightly screw candles for the steam bath effect. The exposure time can be chosen from half an hour to an hour depending on the degree of contaminations. But for now, we will conduct an experiment. We have a heavily coked piston with stuck rings. With its help, we will arrange a real test of the motor decoking ML204. We will place the piston in the composition for only 20 minutes and without heating. Done, we take it out and wipe it with a cloth without any effort. How do you like the result? Piston crown is completely clean, the compression and oil scraper rings are free. Let's get back to the car. In order for decoking to better seep into the area of the piston rings, during the cleaning process we move the pistons slightly up and down with the pulley several times. Watch how ML204 fluid sip. The time of exposure to decoking is over, we pump out the remains of the product with a syringe. In order to remove the chemicals as much as possible, we carefully wipe the surfaces on which the decoking has flowed down and blow the cylinders with compressed air. If there is no compressed air, this can be done by turning the starter a couple of times for 5 seconds with the gas pedal pressed to the floor. We have often shown this method in previous videos. Let's have another look at the cylinders with an endoscope to assess the intermediate result. We can see that the carbon deposits have softened. It's time to put the oil pan back in place. For this, we use a LAVR black high-temperature silicone gasket maker. It forms reliable gaskets and can withstand pressure and exposure to industrial fluids. While the sealant is polymerizing, degrease the surface with a brake disc cleaner. We install oil pan back and fill in the oil that was drained earlier. Mount the spark plugs and start the car. You need to warm it up to operating temperature. After that, we drain the oil, ridding the engine of remains of decaulking. Install a new oil filter and fill in new oil. Car is sent for running so that all the dissolved coke is burnt out. Do not forget that after cleaning the first 10-20 kilometers, you need to drive carefully, not loading the engine with high revs. After 28 kilometers, let's evaluate the condition of the engine. Compression measurements showed that the numbers rose slightly and aligned with each other. However, compression stabilization will be happening gradually over several tens of running kilometers. Now, let's look at the cylinders with an endoscope. No commands needed, the video speaks for itself. Write in the comment how you liked the effect, subscribe, and give it a like.